Okay, we're back. And we're going to go into Elf. And oh boy, do we have a landing. So why don't we frenzy some of this stuff. Even with Omni Resistance, I'm not too pleased to be duking it out with quite this many things at the same time. Now, I could have simply stair-danced, but where's the fun in that? I'm just kidding. The real reason I didn't want to stair-dance was because I could have ended up surrounded by these things anyway, so this gave me a chance to engage the stuff at range to a degree. Anyway, it really wasn't a bad ambush, to be perfectly honest. I want to emulate these things, but I'm going to not do it, okay? I'm going to not do it as much as I want to. And I'll tell you why. It's a waste. When we can just make a kill hole here. Wow. This is making me wish that I had trained melee exclusively. My anti-magic bite attack is hugely useful in here. Looking for things to drop. We are so full up on inventory, it's not even funny. I literally have nothing that I want to drop. I guess I'm gonna drop Identify. We'll just come back for it when we need it. Now, anti-magic doesn't work on this dude, on the priests, but that's fine. Curare still does. This one I'm gonna use Steel against. Okay, we killed him. A lot of higher level elves on this Elf 1. You don't always see that. I mean, I call them higher level elves. It's not really like a technical name for them. I'm just talking about, like, when I say higher level elves, I mean the ones that show up in the vault, like Deep Elf Sorcerers, Deep Elf Demonologists, Deep Elf High Priests, you know, versus just Deep Elf Mages, really. And Deep Elf Knights are the lower level ones, and Archers, versus Master Archers. I kind of realized I've been using that phrase a lot, and I'm not sure if people know exactly what I mean. What? Okay, we'll Cloud to kill all this stuff at the same time. Fully charged, fully charged. They should die immediately, though. Wow, whose idea was this vault, and can I have them removed from the dev staff? I'm just kidding. But this is a stupid vault. Somebody, and this is my theory, somebody has an obsession with floating eyes. Somebody who's been making a lot of vaults recently. Because I see them everywhere now, and I didn't used to. I mean, they were definitely added to the base table of monsters at some point in places like depths because I've seen them a lot. I mean, this vault's okay. Looks like it's mostly floating eyes, but still, I really dislike that monster. Not even a rune door? Come on. Oh, I think we're about to get a treasure vault. Or a treasure trove. +4 Demon Blade. Well, can't do that yet, but sounds like a thing that we can get pretty easily. Of course, I feel like I would rather... Sorry about those flashes. I feel like I would rather... just use my enchants on my snakebite weapon, honestly. Okay, here we are on Elf 2. One shot at the Deep Elf Demonologist, that's cool. But yeah, enchanting my blowgun is probably superior to whatever's in that trove. Not necessarily. But the thing is, the trove can give me crappy loot, but if I enchant the blowgun is always going to be more effective. Easy enough to kill all this stuff in the skill hole. Enchant weapon, use it on the blowgun. You know, we may just find a demon blade that's +4 by itself. Okay, we're gonna clear out hollow blades in case I need to take a hatch. Continue to tab through most of this stuff. No Blade Masters yet. Fortunately, I do not have, See Invisible on me. I should have grabbed that ring at some point, but we're fine. We're fine without it. My inventory is just so unbelievably full. That I don't want to do anything to make it more full, you know. Unless it's completely necessary. Nice. 19 javelins of penetration. Getting pretty ludicrous. Good stuff. Now here we are on Elf 3. Distillery. We will take the useful potions. Cancellation is a good find, and we just found 2. I want to clear the rest of the floor before I end up inside there. Oh, never mind, I've already cleared it. Gonna shout a few times in here and just fight things right here. We are not exactly the ideal character to deal with this exact situation, but a really, really, really good character for doing it. Mainly because of the anti-magic. Oh, this is cute. This little foyer here makes it hard for me to pull things out like this. But I will find a way. Oh, let's just kill this thing. Uh-oh. Alright, I'm gonna walk all the way back to a staircase. See, this guy is scary because he can do so much damage in one hit. Thankfully, he is dumb. Tends to blink away from me. Okay, pretty big pile of things here. Can't quite get them with the clouds. I think I'm gonna do this. That'll keep him busy long enough for me to throw some javelins at least. Would rather not be next to the Annihilator. It's not ideal, but the thing is we have silence. So in terms of panic buttons, we have the best one. We can straight up block them from doing anything to me. Almost anything other than melee. Alright, he's dead. It's a little bit iffy. Okay, now, this is quite the annoyance, isn't it? This is way more things than I would like to be fighting at the same time. So we kill the priest first, since he can augment the strength of the other mages. Honestly, it's good that this dude's in front, because he'll repel my things, and then I can just kill stuff, and nothing else will get a chance to attack me because he's in the way. See? So now we'll kill him. So you can sort of use those dudes against the other deep elves. It's kind of a narrow strategy insofar as you're only going to be using it when you're using a ranged character. But it works. That works against anything that repels missiles. So if you want to kill things that are like behind it, that's one way to do it. It's really a modification of the old strategy of just paralyzing something. And then smiting through it on a Beog Worshipper, for example, or airstriking through it, or bolting through it, and, well, you'll probably kill it quickly doing that, but the bottom line is that if something's allied to them, then they're not going to go through it if it's somehow immobile. Now, they could have switched spots with that dude, because he was active, he wasn't immobilized with paralyze or something. But I wasn't really concerned about that, because if that happened, I would just be able to hit it with Cure RA, so no big deal, really. Wow, I can't get over how great Snakebite is in here, especially in conjunction with my anti-magic. I mean, it just shuts this stuff down. I mean, slow, and if they try to cast anything, it probably fails. Really good stuff. Surprised I haven't eaten like a single crystal spear yet, or even an acid blast from these dudes. Then again, we're pretty well locking them down, you know? Whoa! That's more elves than I thought that there were left. I mean, we've been killing elves left and right. They're still around. That's cool. We're totally good. Something weird's going on in this vault, though. Oh boy. This is not good. I should not have berserked. Okay, that was very much hubris. It worked, but I don't know, I was under the impression this place was empty by now, but nope. Okay, we're not going to wear something with our core on it, or excuse me, with Star Corrode on it. Yeah, this is just a really, really big inner vault. That's what happened here. Big enough for a lot of spawns, I guess. Hey, manual of throwing. Now, unfortunately, we're pretty much done training. Wow. That's a... that's a very interesting... It's a very interesting ring name. Right. Okay. Well, I'll just use the manual until I get to 27, I guess. Burn those 2 books. Got the Annihilator. Book of the Clouds we don't need, we'll burn it. Come on, inventory. +7 strength. That might be a decent thing to wear, to be honest. Strictly for the strength bonus. Gives me good throwing damage. But Snakebite is still doing good work for me, so... Until it's not, I don't think I'm going to fool around with changing it. Let's drop this cutely named ring. Although I do honestly want to use that ring later once my resistances are a little more covered, so that I can afford to drop some of my other stuff. Wow, obsidian axe. Well, we're not going to use that. We're going to leave this because it has rapid deconstruction, which if we find, for example, a teleporter vault, we may in fact want to use it. Just run and grab some identify real fast. We do not need that amulet. We do not need this dexterity ring. Imagine bow. Is not a good weapon, so we're not using that. Not even going to think about it. Alright, well that's the floor. Looks like we've cleared it out pretty well. Still hurting on inventory space, unfortunately. But I'm happy to find that book of throwing. I'm a little sad that I found it so late in the game. Maybe I shouldn't have pushed throwing so hard. But you can't really plan for something like that. Let's go into Crypts. We have plenty of lignification. Well, we only have 2 on me, but there's more to buy. 1 more, anyway. I'm going to be lignifying pretty soon, actually. Wow, this Berserk is not doing much for me. So we dropped the manual since we maxed out. Throwing is now 27. We'll train fighting now. For the hit points. And for the extra damage and accuracy, which I believe it gives. Now, Snakebite's going to be next to useless in here. So, come to think of it, why don't we just grab this thing? I mean, I really might as well just wear something that gives a ton of strength, you know? In fact, why don't we check out this steaming short sword since it's one-handed. And we'll check out the dazzling hunting sling. Nope. Okay. Not that +7 isn't enough for me, I just, if I can have more, I'll take it. But yeah, it's kind of like Skull Crusher, you know, it gives you more strength. There's no reason not to use it for throwing. I mean, it gives extra damage, I'm sure. Okay. That's it. We're just gonna... We'll just rest and then pull them up. Throwing is so weird, like... the stones will do nothing forever, and then you'll, like, one-shot it. The damage is very swingy, it feels like, sometimes. Well, we've been MR/2'd. Excuse me. We will kill this stuff while we still have the benefit of flames. Just gonna take a step back like I did there because, well, this thing is not wanting to follow me through the flames. I'll fight this by itself. I have no idea why this thing isn't following me. It just stood there for a minute, doing basically nothing. Not that I can complain. A little bit tedious, but you might as well use stones if you can. It's not like these things can heal, so you just stand on a staircase and take them out. Amplifier still inert, or I would have used it. Nice. Wow, another one. Starting to think that maybe we should go grab some synth. In fact, we're gonna and we're gonna replace the fire ring with it because I don't think there's really any fire damage in here, as far as I know. Usually. So we'll have a hole in our defenses there, but one that we can swap to fix if need be. There's liches, I suppose. They can cast fire, but again, we can swap when necessary. And C-Invis just makes this place less irritating, since the vampire mages, the vampire knights, probably a couple other things turn invisible. There's, in fact, those Lori Crypts, however you pronounce it. It's like a ghost demon thing. It's invisible all the time. I believe those can spawn in here. Can be summoned by cursed skulls. It's one of those really, really, really stupid names that are in the game to, I don't know, I guess that things are more flavorful the more difficult they are to pronounce or spell. That seems to be the idea, anyway. Still would like to clear up my inventory a bit on this character. We'll drop potions of invisibility because I have the cloak. So I can just turn invisible more or less whenever I want via the evocation. Oh man, pack is full. Well, we'll drop confusion. We'll drop. Well, we won't drop acid. We'll ignore the ring of strength since we don't care about such things. I find that stat bonus rings are something you wear if you have nothing else to wear. They're not something that you wear in lieu of something else, usually. Why don't we just drop the acid now? As much as it's nice to hang around, or hang on to. Element of intelligence. Well, you know what? Intelligence doesn't do anything for me. AC does. So we wear the AC instead. More gauntlets of dexterity. No archery just yet. It'll be cool if we find some, but we don't need it. Slaying is particularly welcome on a throwing character, though. Just checking out shields, not going to necessarily use them. Why don't we go ahead and run around doing that since I just remembered I should have. I left a few behind. Let's see if Donald's is any good. Shield of Reflection. Not really worth training more for right now. Let's go back to Crypts. Maybe we'll find some nice loot in here. Silver javelins, that's going to be good for Zot. Use penetration to clear this out. That's what makes penetration so good, is it lets you resolve situations that would otherwise be really obnoxious. Doesn't necessarily trivialize the problem, but it gives you a solution that will probably work for those sorts of situations. In fact, since we have so much penetration, we're going to go ahead and stair dance Vaults5 here in a minute, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, this stuff, not so good. We can take quite a lot of damage from here. So let's see if we can kill them with penetration. Did we kill both of them? Oh, we got one. Wow, there's way too many. Wow. Well, we have Blink. I'm gonna cloud these dudes. Unfortunately, I get the one that doesn't do anything. Well, one of the two that doesn't do anything against undead. Kill the Ancient Champion. As long as I can keep hitting two at a time, and I can't be hit by more than one of them, it's pretty safe. This is another great use for penetration, is that, you know, when something's in front that you're not so afraid of, and there's something behind that you are afraid of, it's great. There was an iron shot. Let's see if we can just walk away. I don't think he can kill me in one shot right now. Wow, there's another one. This is a noob trap is what it is. Alright, hold up. He's hasted now, which means he can totally kill me. But yeah, this is a newbie trap because it's very easy to underestimate Ancient Champions until you look up how much damage they can do. That iron shot does 3d26, so 77. So now this dude can do 144 damage to me. Or actually, no, he can do 150 something. So that's more hit points than I have, which unfortunately means I gotta burn one of these sea blinks. And then bring out a stone giant. I don't know why my stone giant decided to walk backwards there. Alright. Now we got the brothers in arms. Doing some real work. Sweet. But yeah, that whole vault, that is a noob trap, because I think it's so easy to think that Ancient Champions, it's like, oh, I didn't get Ancient Liches, I got Ancient Champions, no big deal. But make no mistake, those things are just as dangerous as Liches. Actually, those things are more dangerous than Liches in certain ways, because they have less spells. See? So if they get this book, they have one of three things to do to you. Four things. They can haste, or they can iron shot, which does the 75, or 77, or 78 rather. Or they can pain, which probably doesn't do much. So they only have one useless thing. Liches have a few things in their book that are usually useless to you, depending on your uses against you, depending on your defenses. And the other thing is, Ancient Champions are pretty good in melee, too. Whereas Liches are, mediocre. I would like this thing to die, but it doesn't seem to want to. There we go. Ooh. Well, we'll just walk away until my hit points come back, which they do very quickly. Can we kill it with stones? Looks like we can. I mean, we are walking around with ogre strength here, so we've got, you know, a pretty good situation in terms of damage. Looks like we got some guardian mummies to deal with. Tomb is going to be back here. Pretty fun Crypts 3. I have a lot of respect for ancient champions as an enemy. I think I've probably complained about them in the past in terms of like the amount of damage that they can send out. Although generally that's more of a complaint about hell and how it can spit them out right next to you for a ton of damage. But as single enemies, I think they're fun. Something you really have to be careful around. Something that's a stealth danger, which I think is always cool. Because it's something you really have to keep in mind that like this, it might do nothing, it might do quite a lot. Then again, pretty much every monster is like that. Every dangerous monster. Okay, let's go down. Moth of Wrath. We're going to open up by penetrating the Moth of Wrath. And then I'm going to use javelins on this thing, and then I'm going to go up. And I'll berserk. Okay. There is a warden here. So I could come down, but I'm not really going to be able to stair dance unless I take him out with the javelins. As usual, I'm trying to minimize the amount of resources that I use. So I'm going to go down the hatch. Okay, this is not the worst thing in the world. Try not to pull all the stuff from up there. Okay, I'd rather not be slow, so we're going to have to use a cancellation. We have a big old stack, though, so it's not the end of the world. Let's get this thing away from me. Please die. Because it can slow me. Alright, it's blowgun time. We're going to use... Well, unfortunately, we cannot get the frenzy on this end just yet. We got the frenzy on the Convoker, though. We're going to have a grand old time with frenzy. Oh yeah, that is good stuff. Have fun dealing with that, guys. Okay, we have successfully cleared out a little area. Excuse me. Okay. Oddly enough, I'm going to blink across this stuff. And we're gonna fog. Actually, we're gonna haste. I'm doing some silly things here. We'll fog now. Just a little more stuff showed up than I thought. Okay, now. Wait, I don't want. What am I doing? I want my dagger on. There we go. While we're hasted. Haste is over. Didn't make much use out of it. You know what? Let's just try to frenzy that guy and we succeed. Ironically, we'll get a lot of these needles back. Ooh. This dude is going to meet my deep troll. And we'll see how he stands up to him, which looks like not very well. Down he goes. Thank you, deep troll. Well done. Glaive of the Guard. So wasted on a little orc. Then again, it's not. Well, I was about to say it's not that good of a weapon, but I didn't realize it really is. I didn't know Glaive of the Guard was electricity. That's a great weapon. If we head this way, we pick up a whole bunch of things that we left behind. You know, I should probably have RF on in here, honestly. Could eat a lot of damage from fire if I don't. Why don't we go around the edge? Go for the safe. Oh, Needles of Paralysis, wow. Not that I want to wear, or not that I want to have even more stuff in my inventory, but oh, it's hard to say no. We will probably just keep Confusion. There's no particular need to have both. It's just like, it's nice, you know. Why don't we... Here, I'll drop Mutation, and we'll pick up Paralysis Needles. We'll come back for the Mutation if need be. Just kind of going along these edges. War gargoyles can do some pretty decent damage, so do not underestimate them. Well, she's resistant to poison. Do I want to just try to duke it out? No. Okay, we finally got the confuse on her. Via the needles, thank you. We got +4 Storm Dragon scales, so when I'm ready, I can just swap off the ones I'm using. Probably shouldn't have berserked here. Okay, I've successfully created sort of a kill hole using the body of that ugly thing. And that one. That's an interesting use of paralysis that you may want to consider. Is that a finisher? No, it's just a scythe. Curious. Well, that's interesting. We're gonna use this. That's a fun weapon, or excuse me, it's a fun shield. But it's effectively a weapon too, because it reflects all kinds of things, including hexes. Now, it's not going to do a whole ton, because I have a low shield skill, or shield, I have a low shield value on account of the fact that it's still a buckler. Well, 363% paralyzes in a row does not work, and it looks like the guy gets off the Word of Recall. But that's okay, because we kill him anyway, and everything that he summoned. Penetrate through, gotta kill the Demonologist, very important. Curare is surprisingly good against certain high-level targets like Storm Dragons. Believe it or not, Storm Dragons, not resistant to poison. Some generic CPA here. Okay, let's, What do we want to do here? Well, we don't want that wand. And we don't want anything in the shop. Oh man, this is the only reason why I dislike playing throwing characters. It's annoying because throwing is so incredibly good, right? It's just the downside is all this inventory management. Okay, we're just gonna drop Meals of Paralysis for now. Confuse is generally just as good. And we have a lot more of it, so... You may be wondering why I'm holding on to the Staff of Olgreb. And really the only reason is that it makes me immune to poison. On the other hand, I have like 15 curing, so is it really necessary? Technically I could walk around using it, but... And I guess it would be okay versus Trog's Wrath. But I could think of better things to do. Like wands. Disable individual things immediately. Or even blowgun needles, like Confuse or Paralyze. So we'll leave Olgrebs on the ground. If I was playing a different character that would actually use curing potions for healing, then, you know, maybe. Maybe I wouldn't leave it behind. Well, I guess we also use it for Confuse, but we're going to have way more than enough. Alright. That's Vaults 5. Let's check out this flail real fast. Nothing good. Okay. So we'll cut the video here. Pretty good progress. Elf Crypts, Vaults 5. We just have depths left. We'll probably dump Trog now. Oh hey, a Pearl Dragon Scale. 28, 21, 31, 20. Nah. Well, we lose some RC+, but we gain the ability to cast. I think I'll go through Depths with the Trog Wrath. We'll switch to Zen. We'll train a whole lot of invocations. I am curious if you could use the Holy Brand on the blowgun, strictly to give it the +2. But not actually to give it Holy Brand, of course. Talking about TSO. But I don't think I feel like finding out. Looks like we have plenty of gold. So we should walk in with pretty decent piety on Zen as well. Okay. Why don't we go ahead and grab all the books we want? Grab this manual of spellcasting. As far as the rest of this stuff goes, You know what? That's SH plus 6. So I tell you what. No need for faith anymore. We're gonna wear this, and this is gonna be really good with Warlock's Mirror. Unfortunately, that loses me our neg, but I think it's worth it. Now we're cutting it a little close on the ammo, but I think we're okay. I mean, 528 stones along with the rest of this stuff, and the fact that we actually have some melee on this character, I think we're okay. Let's pick up passage as well. Get the usual suspects on the spells. Cause fear? I'm not going to waste gold on that. This should be fine. Portal projectile, maybe? I mean, we'll go ahead and grab it. What's up, guys? Neutral jellies. Okay. So we abandoned Trog. Looks like we already have Vitalization and Recite. Nice. Train Invocations. We'll memorize Blink. We'll train Translocations. We'll also memorize Swiftness. We'll memorize Passage, which is unlikely to be a thing we cast, but that's fine. Memorize Portal Projectile. I think that's it. Apportation as well. Okay, cool. I guess I'll pick up slow because why not? Okay. So we'll do Depths under Trograth, which is a little iffy, but I think we'll be fine. We should pick up Invocations pretty quickly. The biggest thing is getting Blink online, but with this manual that shouldn't be a problem. In fact, I'm going to stop being OCD and I'm not going to train fighting because it's very important that I get that online. Okay, cool. So next video, Depths, then Abyss to work on the Piety. I am not going to do Zot 5 again under Trograth or Ascent under Trograth because one, that's crazy, and two, this character is just a little more fragile than that gargoyle. So, yeah. Anyway, that'll be it for, or excuse me, did I say gargoyle? Vampire is what I meant to say. Since my streak, my previous win was a VP BE, and that's what I'm talking about. On the other hand, maybe we're not as fragile because we do have Zen at my back. But we'll kind of see where I go on the Piety and where that's heading. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and donate. Even though that's a big chunk of change. Mainly because I really want to have Imprison available. Alright, so we'll stop here. Next time Depths, then Abyss. Probably won't have time to hit Zot. Try to keep it to an hour, but we'll see. Until then, I'm signing out.